To be completely honest, I'm glad COVID took her sense of taste away. Now she truly has no excuse to fall back on. Welcome back to the watch party, everyone. I'm your host, Gene. How was your week? Mine was pretty good, but I do have an honest question for you. If you're driving safely through the California fog and you're 99% sure you clipped a tweaker but didn't actually see it, was there a crime committed? The real crime is porn these days. Admittedly, I don't watch it often, just every once in a while, but when I do, I don't have a good time. I mean, it's disgusting. First off, what's up with gagging on a man? I mean, this whole thing, when was that ever fun for anybody? And then every guy in the video is, "You're my stepmom," and every girl is, "You're my stepbrother." I mean, really, guys? Really? Can we just make regular porn for average guys like myself? I mean, imagine this scenario. The announcer is calling out Floyd Mayweather as the winner, but it doesn't matter because you're an amateur boxer and this is your first major fight and you stood toe-to-toe with the champ. All 12 rounds, you went the complete distance. You are a winner. That's right, a Rocky story. You're greeted ringside by your son who just passed a bar exam, by your daughter, a Medal of Honor recipient who just returned from Afghanistan, and your wife, a Nobel Prize recipient who just discovered the cure for cancer. Your beautiful wife drives you away from the rink, takes you to the hotel room, gives you a hot towel massage all over your body, and then... How exactly has that code never been cracked? It's only been every man's fantasy ever since he got his first boner. Before we get into the episode 5 review, there are a couple things we need to discuss. First off, I was having a lot of video and audio issues this week, so I apologize if the quality isn't that great. Honestly, I don't know shit about computers or really anything for that matter. I can't apologize for the content, however, since I'm a loudmouth prick with a microphone who's really doing his best. Next on the list are those player-hating geniuses from HBO. Apparently, they don't like free advertising for their shows and are now preventing me from taking pictures of them. So I'm gonna have to change the format from a play-by-play to more of a major story analysis type thing. I will be using some shitty photos here and there that I get from Google and other entertainment websites, and I'm giving them full credit right here. So without further ado, let's get into the review. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, hit pause, watch it, and come back to this video. We start a recap and analysis in 3, 2, 1. First, let's talk about that super agile cloaked creature I like to call the Watcher. It's House Castle Grayskull, totally badass. And that scene where one of his traps swings down and stabs that guy in his face, right in his f***ing face! And when it swoops down, snatching away his trackers and trading cards and whisking off before anybody can get a shot off, that was pretty dope. The symbols on those trading cards, aren't they the same ones that Mother saw during the simulation on the floor? And is this the same creature as the Tully creature that we see? It's very interesting. We'll have to stay tuned to find out. Let's talk about the kids next. Paul and Campion. Is it obvious to anybody else that we're being set up for a best of enemies scenario here? Two boys the same age, blonde, blue eyes, dark hair, dark eyes. This is not going to end well. And Tempest, just tragic. That's all I gotta say about that. Next on the list is Marcus and Sue. Yes, I think I've finally learned their names. Marcus has earned the respect of the warriors and the politicians must concede. Sue's got a lot on her plate. She's worried about Paul, she has to deal with this blonde bitch Cassia, and she's also worried that Marcus might be drinking the Kool-Aid. And she has every reason to believe so. That lovemaking scene where Marcus has a vision of stabbing Sue, with Mother's scalpel no less. What is going on here? Could it be that the planet is alive and f***ing with Marcus? Or is it his own fault for letting rapey Darth Vader get into his head? What the f*** is he thinking there? And I thought I had mental problems. And I too am concerned for Marcus, being he's the only adult male on the show that's not a pussy and has any sense whatsoever. Don't f*** this up for us, bro. And now on to the mother-father dynamic. Mother's still a tyrant, father's still a dumb bitch, and they both still suck together. That's it. Robert says what's driving me insane is every scene that mother and father interact. It's cringy to the extreme and not believable at all. I agree with you, Robert, but it looks like we may have some answers in our final story beat, and we saved the best for last. Before we go off into the weeds with the creation story, it's worth noting that we might be dealing with an unreliable narrator situation here. We've been warned twice now that simulations are not meant for cyborgs, and this could all be happening inside Mother's head. That being said, not only did I like this story a lot, but I thought it was extremely well done. I liked it so much I'd like to rename the episode. Even though I sympathize with Mother, I still think she's a f***ing hole and needs to die. Campion Sturgis is an absolute badass. He's the Bruce Wayne of the future, and his ultimate goal is to reappropriate Mother to being the savior of humanity. Did anybody else gag when she failed the compassion test with the baby? And although he's got extremely noble intentions, you didn't have to look very hard to notice some huge mistakes and very poor reasoning. First of all, when exactly did he send the ship off to Kepler 22b? It seems it was well after the Mithraic took their arc, since there seems to be a lack of oxygen in Campion's timeline. So wouldn't he have known about the Mithraic? And if not, what? And even worse, if he did know, it's like hitting the self-destruct button on his own plan. His next mistake was pairing Mother and Father together. The most badass bitch with the world's biggest pussy. What was he thinking? Robert was right. No wonder these two don't get along. Imagine being in love with the real man and being forced to pair up with the ultimate numbnuts. No bueno. Another thing to consider is a nature versus nurture argument. Mother was built to kill, but reprogrammed by Campion to love and nurture. And it doesn't seem to be working. She's still super good at the casual mass murder thing. No wonder she's going bat crazy. And finally, the notion that this plan's gonna ensure future harmony for everyone. Campion's not the only one guilty of this. Mithraic have this in their heads too. How can you take the talking and murder out of humanity? We're masters at it. We've been perfecting it for hundreds of thousands of years. Even before we noticed the first falling star or UFO and created gods to blame everything on. And we've only gotten better at the talking and killing now. I'd be worth $1 million in prizes if I was awarded every time somebody told me I needed Jesus. Maybe one of the show's messages is that God is not omniscient and makes mistakes. Or else, what if God was? What a monster that would be. Just sitting back, enjoying the reality show of people talking and murdering each other. Making reality shows of people talking and murdering each other. And that's the end of our episode. So what did you think? Please like, subscribe, leave your comments below. And stay tuned later this week where I'll be introducing a new segment called Steak and Eggs. Just more random water cooler talk. But the first episode will be a non-spoiler review of Wonder Woman 84. I can't wait. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. And if you don't mind, I'd like to close the show with a heartwarming Christmas song about a creepy perv who won't leave a woman's house until he gets laid. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Now eat my nuts. And as always, thank you for watching Sunday Night Watch Party.